Hello, welcome to my channel. My channel is called Serenity and Strength, and it covers my widowhood journey as well as my wellness journey. My name is Joyce Onyango. If you have not watched any of the earlier episodes, I would kindly ask that you do so that you bring yourself up to speed. And I'll request that you kindly subscribe, share, and like. And as I always say, subscribing does not cost you anything. All it will do is ensure that whenever I make new postings, they will automatically come to you without you having to look for them, so that you're able to always be up to date. I would also love that if there are any persons who have gone through similar situations, or even seen others who have gone through similar situations, you do share your comments and also share experiences. Experiences that we'll share can be anonymous unless somebody absolutely would like to have the name mentioned. Others can just benefit from it through the experience that is shared. I have also put a telephone number on the screen so that anybody who would like to text or call, so that whatever they're sharing is in confidence, they can also go ahead and do so. And I hope that through the experiences that I share and that others will also share, people are able to benefit from that and be able to navigate their own circumstances in a much better way. One of the things that I noticed as I was going through both the time when I was told about the death, and also when I was going through this process of preparing for the funeral, during the funeral itself, and even after the funeral. Yes, I knew that the death had occurred, but all the same, I would find that I'm going through the motions almost like I'm in a dream. So I was like, had some kind of a disconnect. And even many, many years after the occurrence of the loss, I still found myself that inadvertently, from time to time, it would be like I am in a dream. Like the loss has not actually happened, the death has not happened. And somehow, like, I would expect that maybe my husband will still come back. Maybe he has gone somewhere, but he's still going to come back. So, I kept on thinking, what is making me think like that? And I actually went on to try to find out whether it was a normal thing. And even when I now discussed with others, I found that yes, most of them were actually going through the same kind of thing. I also took time to read and research about it and found that indeed it is a normal thing that happens during this kind of loss. And it is really just our brain trying to protect us from emotional overload. Because, of course, when something like this happens, you get very, very emotional, you're overwhelmed, and you have disbelief, which now comes in, and that disbelief is like a protective mechanism. So if you find yourself going through such a thing, it is not something which is out of the ordinary. It's just your mind trying to soften the situation, make it not seem so bad, and say that it can't be true, you know? And that goes on for quite a while. And it is not just the loss of bereavement that does that, because there are so many other losses that are there. You'll find that even if you go through a breakup, a divorce, sometimes even a miscarriage, you can lose your job. Sometimes, financially, maybe you become unstable compared to how you were. You could lose your home. And sometimes even you could find that even just in retirement, where you are no longer going to work. There are losses, and you find that with all those kinds of losses, there is a lot of emotions that take place. And in all those, you will find that at some point, you may feel that you're actually dreaming. And that is because you find that you're actually in a state of shock, you're in a state of despair. You can even become numb from time to time. Then, with the loss of a death, you find that there is a lot of sadness, profound sadness that is there. And there is also an emptiness, especially if it is somebody you've been communicating with from time to time, somebody you've been living with, or even when it comes to a job loss or retirement. You had a routine that you used to do every so often, and now it's no longer there. So that emptiness is there. Then when it is a loss whereby somebody has actually, passed on, you could even find that you're so overwhelmed by what has happened. The sadness and everything can really overwhelm you. Then apart from that also, when a loss occurs, there's also that aspect of guilt or regret. You ask yourself, with the circumstances that have happened, had I acted in a different way, could it have, ended up in a different scenario? And even I found that with my own spouse, that also kept on going through my mind. Could we have changed it? And when you are going through those kinds of emotions, then you'll find that automatically your mind will step up to numb it, and it numbs it by making you think like it's a dream and not really reality. With a spouse, you find that the relationship is a very special relationship, which the Bible even highlights. It is a profound and a sacred relationship, and it is something which, through the Bible, as it describes it, it is a permanent union, and you have also that concept of one flesh, so you really become part of each other. And just looking at two verses on that, and I'll just read those. You have Genesis 2:24, and it says, "That is why a man leaves his father and mother and clings to his wife, and the two then become one body." Then Mark 10:7-8, and here you find that Jesus is the one who actually is emphasizing what was already said in Genesis. "For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So they are no longer two, but one flesh. So marriage has got a spiritual aspect to it, just like everything else. So the spouse becomes a part of you. Okay, something we may not be able to understand humanly. It means that when they depart emotionally, it makes so much difference to have a part of you missing. You'll find that even in marriage vows, most marriage vows, they talk of till death do us part. But to me, that is more of a physical parting, because you find that you still have a continuing inner connection with that person, even if they've gone. A lot of times you'd have some kind of inner dialogue with them, even if they're deceased, because you'll be thinking, what would this person have said over this situation? What would they have wanted? Or a lot of times, even you feel their influence. So there is that continuing bond that is there. And actually, what he said is that that kind of a bond, where you're remembering them in the kind of a way, is actually it's a healthy bond. It's not a bond that is unhealthy. And sometimes because you have that kind of a bond, it blurs that finality of death. And especially when you are going through moments which are very emotional or which are charged in one way or another, then you find that that kind of thing happens, and you seem to think that perhaps it didn't happen, or it was like a dream. And what they say is that the mind and the heart heal at different speeds. The mind knows that the person is gone, but the heart still feels their presence. So there is that disconnect. And because of that, you'll find now you start feeling like maybe it was just a dream. It didn't really happen. What you should know is that love does not obey time. The time will reduce pain for many people, but it doesn't erase the love. And sometimes even more than decades later, you still feel the same kind of thing. So you find that you have lost, you had a shared history, you had plans together, So because of that, it is a very deep and profound loss. And as I said, it's very difficult to, accept it. But you'll find that you've accepted it, but your heart doesn't quite accept it. And you keep on sort of like communicating with the person. In fact, I found myself at times even angry when people were calling my husband like the late, like you don't want them to call them that. But it has happened, they've gone. So it comes in waves and at all kinds of times when are most unexpected. And you'll find that as the time goes on, it will become less and less. As long as one has accepted that the loss has occurred and you're able to make the necessary decisions through the whole process, you're not stuck or frozen in the moment per se, then it's okay to have those moments. It's very important for you to keep monitoring yourself as you go through the process. Others would monitor you, but you know yourself better. And because of knowing yourself better, should you find that you are not operating the way you know that you normally do not hesitate to get assistance. Today, I'm making mango and hibiscus infusion, and this is courtesy of my friend who shared her addition of mango to the orange and hibiscus infusion we did a while ago. Indeed, there is blessings and beauty in sharing. We're going to use half a cup of dry hibiscus and 1 cup of mango. Do use mango which is properly ripe so that you get the sweetness, and also cut the pieces into very small pieces so as to get faster and better infusion. You put all the ingredients, starting with the mango, into 1 liter of water and allow all of it to steep overnight. And you'll find that when it is ready, you're going to have all the benefits of hibiscus, such as reduced high blood pressure, reduced inflammation. It also acts as a diuretic, flushing out excess sodium and water. It will also fight the free radicals and assist in weight loss, boosting metabolism, and supports digestion. It can also give menstrual relief. Mangoes, on the other hand, are packed with vitamins A, C, and E. These will boost immunity, skin and eyesight, aids digestion, and also has antioxidants which will fight inflammation and diseases, and potassium which supports heart health. So this drink will actually give you all these benefits on top of the benefits of water which we talked of much earlier on. Once the drink is ready, you'll find that you just strain it into the glass in which you're going to use, and it will have that reddish sort of maroon sort of color. And what I did was that I just decided to add a few chunks of mango, and the mango which I added was both some fresh mango and also the mango which had been in the infusions. And you'll find that with the fresh mangoes, they fall right down to the bottom, and the other ones do remain floating on top. So this gives quite a contrast to the drink. You can also add just a dash of lime to give it a little bit of a difference in taste. You'll end up with a drink that is pleasing to the eye and has a tantalizing and sweet taste, wonderful for hydration and cooling, and it's filled with health benefits, and even it is perfect to welcome guests. Do enjoy and let me know what worked for you in terms of quantities. Do like, share and subscribe. We'll see you in the next. Bye.